So when we talk about what we believe and see CRO should be, is commercial oversight, financial tooling. So maybe we would get that from yourself, right? But they'd need to also understand both sides of marketing. They'd need to understand both sides of sales, whether that's the Aaron Ross SDR AE or whether that's full cycle business development validation. And they'd also need to understand handover packs between that link to customer success. But right now, there seems to be a massive disparity at market because most CROs, and you could even interview this on LinkedIn, run a poll, whatever, most of them come from an elevated head of sales role, but that head of sales role is not head of sales where I came from, which used to look over business development and customer success. That's head of sales, right? Head of sales now means I was really good in SDR door opening team. Do I have commercial oversight over all these other departments? And do I even understand the financial acumen that Chris and Carolyn are saying at Paceto? No, I don't. So I need that. But if we actually elevated the role, then you'd find maybe they could. But then they could also lean to yourselves for some of that tooling or most of that tooling. But yeah, I think that it comes down to the perception of that elevation of that role now is a watered down version of what it was, or especially from what we see and what we've built with these structures. But yeah, I think that for that to change, they're going to need to turn somewhere for somewhere like yourselves because they're not going to be able to learn 4 departments of operating functions like that.
Yeah. I
So,
could not agree more with that statement. I almost feel like now most CROs are like glorified like VPs of sales with not a lot of knowledge on marketing, not a lot of knowledge on rev ops and data ops, which I think is such a big component of it. And so who solves this, I think is the question, right? This is the gap, obviously. Not to say that is true for every company. I've seen a lot of companies, that come to Paceto and they want to know what we do, but they have a sophisticated rev ops function and they don't need us. And I think that's a small sample size of companies out there. But for those that don't, I think you either have to hire like what we think is a CRO and to do that job properly, not just a glorified head of sales or somebody who came up through marketing, like somebody who really like has commercial oversight over everything, or you hire an external solution or person to fill that gap and create the alignment.